Hello, everyone, and I hope that you are having a wonderful Sunday. I'm working on a very long video with some sun flares and some interesting stuff that, well, as I said in my last video, stuff that kind of debunks or explains or gives another option to the sun buddy and what could be going on out there in the sky with, people are talking about artificial suns and, airships that are pushing back light, lots of fun stuff. So I thought I would do a lot more work from an earthly photographic aspect. So, having said that, it's a story that I wanted to share with you guys that I found online. And you could find this at The Guardian. This time I'm really going to put some links at the bottom. I always forget to. So I've got some links for you guys to check out on your own. And if you watched my last video, you know that I've been discussing nanoparticles, nanomaterials. Well, I found a story that is interesting, so let me share with you guys. Toxic air pollution particles found in human brains. Okay. Toxic nanoparticles from air pollution have been discovered in human brains in abundant quantities. A newly published study is revealing this information. The detection of the particles in brain tissue from 37 people raises concerns because recent research has suggested links between these magnetite particles and Alzheimer's disease. While air pollution has been shown to significantly increase the risk of the disease. However, the new work is still a long way from proving that the air pollution particles cause or exacerbate Alzheimer's. Air pollution is a global health crisis that kills more people than malaria and HIV or AIDS. It has been long linked to lung and heart disease and strokes, but research is uncovering new impacts on health, including degenerative brain diseases such as Alzheimer's, mental illness, and reduced intelligence. The new work published in the Proceedings of the National Academy of Sciences examined brain tissue from 37 people in Manchester in the UK and Mexico, aged between 3 and 92. It found particles in abundance of magnetite and iron oxide. You are talking about millions of magnetite particles per gram of freeze-dried brain tissue. Doctors believe it's extraordinary. Magnetite in the brain is not something you want to have there because it is particularly toxic there. The substance can create reactive oxygen species called free radicals. Oxidative cell damage is one of the hallmark features of Alzheimer's disease, and this is why the presence of magnetite is so potentially significant, because it is so bioreactive. Abnormal accumulation of brain materials is a key feature of Alzheimer's disease, and a recent study showed that magnetite was directly associated with the damage seen in Alzheimer's brains. Magnetite particles are known to form biologically in human brains, but these are small and crystal-shaped, like the larger spherical particles that dominated the samples in their study. Many of the magnetite particles we have found in the brain are very distinctive, said Meyer. They are very rounded nanospheres, because they were formed as molten droplets of material from combustion sources such as car exhaust, individual processes, and power stations, anywhere you are burning fuel. They believe that these things are quite abundant. They say for every one of the crystal-shaped particles, they saw about 100 of the pollution particles. The thing about magnetite is it is everywhere. An analysis of roadside air in Lancaster found 200 million magnetite particles per cubic meter. They've also observed other metal-bearing particles in the brain, such as platinum, cobalt, and nickel. Things like platinum are very unlikely to come from a source within the brain. It is a bit of an indicator of a catalytic converter source. Something that puzzles a lot of the researchers and professors at, particularly in this article, the University of Florida, one thing that puzzles them is the concentration levels are somewhat higher than those previously reported for the human brain. Further studies are needed to determine whether this is due to regional variations within the brain, the fact that these samples are from subjects who lived in industrial areas, or whether it is possibly due to lab contamination. The researchers said that they had gone to great lengths to avoid contamination. Air pollution was linked to a significant increase in the risk of Alzheimer's disease by a major study published in 2015, while other research showed brain damage related to Alzheimer's disease in children and young adults exposed to pollution. Air pollution has also been linked to dementia in older men and women. While they have not demonstrated a causal link between these particles and Alzheimer's disease, it should be considered that magnetite has been found in higher concentrations in Alzheimer's brains. They also know that magnetite is pernicious in its effect on the brain. Then having a direct source of magnetite right up your olfactory bulb and into your frontal cortex is not a great idea. Now, how would this get into your body? Well, there is no blood-to-brain barrier with nasal delivery. Once nanoparticles directly enter olfactory areas of the brain through the nose, they can spread to other areas of the brain, including hippocampus and cerebral cortex. Those are the regions affected in Alzheimer's disease. They also believe it's worth noting that an impaired sense of smell is an early indicator of Alzheimer's disease. Now, what I find most funny about this article with The Guardian is a bit of the last paragraph. Their study at Alzheimer's Society offers convincing evidence that magnetite from air pollution can get into the brain, but it doesn't tell them what effect this has on brain health or conditions such as Alzheimer's disease. Further work in this area is important, but until then, they have more information. People should not be unduly worried. Okay. There are more practical ways to lower your chances of developing dementia, such as regular exercise, eating a healthy diet, and avoiding smoking. Well, if all I have to do is walk outside and I can get Alzheimer's, if all I have to do is drive in traffic and roll down my window and I can get me a nice whiff of Alzheimer's, well, excuse my French, but I say fuck it. Everybody should just light up a cigarette or a big fat doobie. And, hey man, is it too late? Like, you can look this stuff up. I'm putting the links down at the bottom. This is not good. Not good. And if we don't say anything, well, you guys take care. Stay tuned for my next video. It's going to be a little bit more exciting than this one. Y'all have a good one.